Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am sorry and I apologize for the background noises that you might be hearing right now because I have recorded this over and over and over again trying to prevent noises from the outside. As I am speaking, there's like 3 cars outside right now. So again, I apologize if you hear any loud noises in the background. It's because of the cars, and I tried recording this actually last night, midnight, to multiple tries, and it was just super noisy, and I can't really do anything about it anymore since I thought now it would be more silent since I don't know, everyone would be at work or something. Well, actually, no, it's still the MECQ, but everyone would be at home, since it's MECQ. But no, everyone's outside. So, yeah, please bear with me. So, today we're going to talk about an irrelevant issue about Jason and Michael. It's irrelevant, and I'm not trying to revive the beef or whatever that they had over at Twitter because it's unnecessary, first of all. But all I want to do is give you guys a perspective on how I see the things because why not? I have freedom of speech. So let me give you an overview first of the situation. So Michael Pacquiao, which is the son of Manny Pacquiao, decided to release a song called Hate, and it got a lot of attention from the media, and they decided to push him more and more to the point where he got to sing it live in 107.5, rhyming accidentally. And so soon after that, he released a video of him rapping to his song on Twitter. And then soon after that again, Jason decided to comment on it by saying that music like that makes him want to stop making music. I'm gonna go deeper into it later, but so far that's what happened, and I'm going to talk about it more later on. But before we get into my opinion, let me first talk about the WWE. You might be saying right now, whoa, what does WWE have to do with this? Well, let me explain. WWE is owned by Vince McMahon, which means that he gets to decide whatever happens in storylines and pretty much every outcome that you see in TV. So even if fans rally behind a particular superstar, Vince still gets to decide on who he wants to be pushed on top of the mountain. Here are 2 wrestlers named Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler. To any wrestling fans watching, you probably know where I'm going, but to everybody else, I'll try to give you an explanation on why I give you these 2 superstars. Roman Reigns is considered to be poor in executing promos, and promos in the WWE or in the sports entertainment world usually make or break a certain superstar. Another thing is that he doesn't really have the best in-ring techniques when it comes to having a variety of different kinds of movesets, which you actually really need to give, to be more entertaining or something. But you can't deny that he looks gorgeous or even has an amazing figure. Now let's talk about Dolph Ziggler. He is considered by fans to be very talented and an all-around entertainer. He can cut promos whether intense or not at any time he wants to. He also has one of the best in-ring techniques amongst his peers, including Roman. He also looks like a Chad, but he doesn't have the same figure as Roman, though I believe he still has a pretty good figure, just not as big as Roman. Now if I ask you on who you think gets pushed more, then you probably say it's Dolph Ziggler, because it makes sense. He's the more talented one, and therefore he should be the one getting pushed. But in reality, the WWE, or more specifically, Vince McMahon, pushes Roman Reigns more because they believe that he draws more profit than Dolph Ziggler. And it's pretty much because Vince prefers wrestlers who have a larger physique to be the top guys of his company. If you look at the history of world champions in the WWE, most of them, if not all of them, usually have large physiques. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, heck, even the Great Khali. What I'm trying to say is that Vince usually pushes men who are big and very sweaty because those are the types of wrestlers that he believes should be the face of his company. Although nowadays, WWE has a brand called NXT where wrestlers like Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, or even Kyle O'Reilly, which are all small in terms of Vince's standards, get a pretty good amount of success. For the reason being that NXT isn't run by Vince but by his son-in-law Triple H, and Triple H has a different set of principles when it comes to people he wants to push. He pushes wrestlers who are rather talented than the ones who are just big, sweaty, and most of the time gorgeous. Now don't get me wrong, everyone in the WWE is super talented. They wouldn't have been there if they weren't talented at all. And I'm also not saying that the WWE doesn't give small guys a chance, because there were a few instances when they actually pushed smaller guys like Daniel Bryan and Rey Mysterio. But sadly, the company or Vince usually make a lot of bad decisions when it comes to choosing on who they want to push, which leads to bad or near mediocre storylines or product. Now, I only mentioned this so that people could get a perspective on what's happening to Jason and Michael, because Jason is like Dolph. He believes that he deserves a spotlight more than Michael because he believes that he's more talented and more experienced. While Michael is like Roman. The companies or media outlets choose to push Michael more because they believe that he draws more money since he is the son of the famous boxer Manny Pacquiao. In my opinion, I believe that both artists are super talented at what they do. In fact, I do believe that Jason is a more talented artist, at least for now, than Michael. But I'm not saying that Michael isn't talented at all, because you really cannot define the career that this man will have just because of one song. And if he isn't quote-unquote good, then it simply means that he still has room for improvements, and sometimes that's better because it means that you have yet to reach your potential. I listen to both of their music, and I genuinely think that Michael's song Hate is really good, at least for my standards, but it's not like it's the best rap song ever created. I also gave Jason's songs a listen, and a lot of them are lo-fi, which I also like. I believe that Michael's more of a hip-hop artist and Jason's more of a lo-fi one. So their music can't really define the situation that they are at right now, or maybe then, because it's hard to argue on how Michael the rapper is better than Jason the lo-fi boy. Simply because it's two different genres. You can't say that a minimalistic graphic designer is an overall better artist than a retro one, because they have different styles that various people will like. So when Jason called out Michael, everyone started choosing their sides, and the usual argument that I see online are usually about on who's the better artist, which shouldn't be the case, because no one will really win that argument, since there are people who are going to like Jason's music more and people who will like Michael's music more. So in the end, there's really no definitive winner. Or I guess you can say that Michael is the definitive winner since he has more supporters than haters. But really, at the end of the day, there are still people who are going to disagree with the people who are protecting Michael. I just believe that what Jason did by saying shit like this makes me want to stop making music, honestly, lol, is quite unnecessary. Because yes, he didn't intend to attack Michael's whole personality, but he did attack his artistic creativity and on how the industry is flawed on accepting music like this that he thinks is mediocre. Although I do understand where Jason is coming from, because me, personally, I'm surrounded by a lot of independent artists, some recognized and some not, and the ones who are not feel like they're treated unfairly because there are higher ups who choose artists of their liking and not artists that these artists think deserve the spotlight. And isn't that something to be mad about? I'm not taking anything away from Michael because he didn't do anything bad or stupid for people to hate on his music. I believe that he still worked hard to release the song he's proud of. And people saying that he doesn't deserve it need to understand that it isn't his fault that he's the son of an icon. Everything his dad worked for was earned, not given. And I believe that Manny Pacquiao just wanted his family to have a better life growing up than the life he had growing up. And also, if his music is just entirely bad, then people won't be listening to his music and more people would rally behind Jason's opinion. But that isn't the case, because there are people like me who think that his music is okay but not super good. But yes, it is quite unfair to artists like Jason who work tirelessly to even just produce music that is really good. And I think that's what made him make that tweet. In the world of art, music, and other forms of art, it's very competitive and there will always be people who think that someone else's product is just plain bad and they are not afraid to voice those opinions out. I have friends who do the same thing, and I guess the only difference between them and people like Jason is that they don't tweet anything if they feel like the artist being promoted doesn't deserve the recognition that they're getting, because first of all, it's a douche move if you try to bring someone down just because they're being successful. It's just not good. You have the same dreams, so pulling someone down, it just proves that you're not willing to work harder. Do you get what I mean? If you feel like you should be on that spot and not them, then show everyone that you could. Do not complain and say, oh, I want to stop doing what I'm doing because this person doesn't even deserve yet. He's getting the record. You know, it just proves that you're lazy. And I can say the same thing in the world of YouTube, because there are so many mediocre channels that people watch, and there will also be people who will be calling out those mediocre YouTubers. But I guess the only difference in the YouTube world and the music world is that these people who call out mediocre YouTubers get into drama but not get cancelled really, because people understand that it's just content that they're talking about, not really the whole personality. And I guess everyone in YouTube understands that. In the end of the day, no one is right or wrong, because what Jason felt was understandable, but what he did was, yes, quite unnecessary. But the hate that he's also getting is also unnecessary, because it is too much. I mean, yeah, he did make a mistake. It did seem like he was an asshole for doing that. But really, canceling him? Yes, Michael maybe didn't have to work as hard as Jason to get promotions like that, but you have to give the benefit of the doubt that he still worked hard on his craft. It's just unfortunate that Jason isn't getting the recognition as much as Michael is getting now. And it's just funny to me, really, how people blow things out of proportion and start attacking people who they are against without understanding where they're coming from. It's like, oh, well, Jason's trying to talk shit about Michael, let me rally behind him. And then they'll see the majority rallying behind Michael, and they'll be like, oh, never mind, I'll side with Michael now. Lastly, I believe that both of them should get recognition for what they do, because they are, without a doubt, more talented than the average human. So instead of hating one of the two, I suggest that we just support both artists because they are good. And they both have the same dream anyways. So instead of pulling them down, why don't we just support them to achieve their dreams? I think that's the best way to really solve the issue, if it isn't already solved at this point. But yeah, that is it, guys. I'm sorry if you heard a lot of vehicles in the background. I really can't stop and just shout, hey world, can you stop working for a bit? So yeah, I'm sorry again for that, but thank you at least for sticking around until the end of this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.